Hello, friends. How's everyone doing? Hi, this is Ruby Singh with Real Estate New School. Hope everyone is doing well. Hope all is well with you and your family. So, as you know, we've been covering a lot, in the previous videos on return on your investment, or if you're planning to sell your house, how you can price the home, how you can sell it fast, right? We also covered a lot in landlord tenant series um, for investment properties, right? And then how you can get a rate of return, for your home improvements, correct? When you're trying to sell that property. So in previous chapters, um, we covered actually previous videos. We covered the return on your investment, how there are major three D's that affect when you trying to sell your house. So we covered all that in that, how about the pets, about, if you have cleaning and all that stuff, correct? So let's talk today how we can market the house, correct? The house we are planning to sell. So as you know, we've been covering and I've been explaining that to you guys that excuse me, that I'm just trying to bring you guys the awareness with my experience, what I've been through in my real estate career. And there, as we've been also covering, that there are bad people and good people, and it's all over the world, right? All over the world, people are like that. People who take advantage of you, people who take advantage of your naiveness, right? It's at the end, it's all about them. Okay. And there are good people who just like to give you, like to also help you. So what I'm trying to do, I'm trying to bring awareness to you guys so you don't somebody don't take advantage of you, your loved one, your family, your finances, right? We all know that in order to live, we have to have a finances, we have to have a job, we have to, and that's the reason we, need those finances for just daily living, right? For us, for your own, and for your family, correct? Plus to pay all the bills, the daily, monthly life bills, correct? So what we've been covering, guys, how you can sell the property that you are trying to sell, either your own home or investment property, how you can sell that quickly and for more money, in real estate terminology, and the concept with the heavy emphasis. We've been covering all that, do's and don'ts of, getting the home ready to sell it as quickly and most effectively with effective price range that you are looking for. And if you haven't watched those videos, please go back and watch those videos. There's so much information that I covered throughout those videos. It will definitely help you. You can always go back and check those playlists because all the topics are according to that playlists. So if you want to get into some playlist faster than the other, you want to know the answer faster, you can go back and watch those playlists, and also send these playlists and videos to your loved one you think that they are interested in learning about real estate and they don't get, you know, some vouchers out there, people don't take advantage of them. Okay. And that's why I'm bringing this awareness to you guys. And I also want to thank you first from the bottom of my heart that, all your wonderful comments. Of course, when I pick up the topics, all your questions also, I try to answer in all those comments when you ask those questions. And the topics I bring when you ask those questions, then I feel that this need to be covered, that you guys need to learn about this. And that's why I give you guys information from my own life's experience to you guys. So let's go and move forward on how you can market your house, right? Because the goal of, you know, my goal is to help you understand all about real estate. And when you're trying to sell your house, what determine the price, what determine the market value of your home, no market value of the properties around your neighborhood, but especially your own home, right? So despite the term, like sometimes we say, okay, our market is slow right now, you know, real estate is not selling, right? So it's despite the term that market, buyer's market, that understand is always a seller market too, because homeowners are necessary and homeownership is cherished all over the world, right? You agree? Because of course we don't live in caves, right? So furthermore, home ownership is unique, correct? So as I said, if you didn't get a chance to watch previous videos, what we've been covering, please go back and watch those videos. That will explain it to you what we've been covering before this, and it will help you understand better. And let's also cover today, what are the common mistakes happens when we are trying to price the house, because it can help you, avoid the pitfall involving in selling your home. Because if setting a price was that simple and straightforward, you would not need to, assist in pricing your home correctly, correct? So guys, save yourself time and money and avoid the costly mistake when pricing, you know, your house, price pricing those mistakes, right? When you're just trying to guess it, what your home will be, or research it, and that's about it. So basing your home price on what the neighbor down the street listed his home for isn't reliable method, guys, because nothing loses potential buyer faster than overpriced home, right? So that's why you have to be very cautious, because nothing loses potential buyer faster than an overpriced home. So subsequent price lowering, it makes look like you are getting, desperate to sell, which will also increase lowball offers. However, you do not want to underprice your home from the beginning, because lower listing price may decrease the time to sell a bit, but you might leave several $1,000s on the table. So learn how to price your house the right way based on the research. So as we've been covering, right, competitive market, check always what is the comps around your neighborhood, competitive market around your neighborhood, right? And selling your home, it's like a business transaction between qualified buyer and yourself. If you haven't enjoyed living in your home for years but have decided to move on, if you have enjoyed, right? Don't let emotional attachment attach to your house, right? So that's why it's very crucial that you market your house properly. Let's also talk about today, the closing cost, the earnest money was given to you, right? And then your emotion that involve in selling the house. So you have to qualify yourself first before you can qualify a buyer. Okay. Because even if you're not in a hurry to sell, it's not a wise move to test the market by listing your home at high price to see how it does. Because serious home shoppers may take few months to find a new home, right? So they are continually looking for new home. They are continually searching for the properties that comes on the market. So thinking that market will turn in your favor may not be reliable either. If the price in your area are dropping, you may lose money. By pricing your home based on the current market value, you can sell your home more quickly and for more money. Okay. And also you have to remember the first day high price blues, correct? Because the most crucial time of your home is the first 10 days on the market. Once your home is on the market, you will see how much interest it's generating, if your price is too higher, if your buyer will pass you because the home is out of their price range. By the time you decide to lower the price, they already moved on. So your home sits on the market. Buyer will wonder why home has not sold and conclude that it's undesirable in some way. So price it correctly from to start to generate interest and gain attention from buyer to sell faster, because it's pricing cost and money all along, right? Another thing is, you're thinking about, okay, I will drop the price. That's another trap that you have to avoid. when you trying to bring your house on the market in the area with the intention of dropping the price. If it does not sell, suppose after 3 months, okay, that is a potential workable in a stable or increasing market. Because if the market in your area is declined, you may be forced to reduce the price even more drastically to catch up with the falling market in your area. Okay. So again, price competitively from the beginning. Okay. Do not hesitate to reevaluate your local market to see where the market is and where the market is going. Correct? So, there's so many free resources now you can see, like Zillow, right? They can give you the estimate, not the estimate, but estimate Zillow, um, how the market is doing in your area. They can also guesstimate that what your home will sell it for. So you have to, guys, qualify yourself first. Because entering a contract to sell your home before you get qualified to buy another home is very problematic, because your financial situation may have shifted since your last purchase. You may not meet the requirement for a loan, or you may not be able to sell a price that enable you to buy the kind of replacement property or home you are desiring. You might have to rent or buy another house that is far from ideal. So before you decide to sell, get pre-approved by a lender, by a bank, by your local bank who have the confidence, excuse me, in your purchase, right? So study the housing market in your area in which you want to live to get a good idea of how much it will realistically cost you to buy. Because make a plan in case you have to move right away, right? Don't waste your time with unqualified buyer, guys. Okay. Because it's a wasted effort of your effort. It's a wasted effort of your energy to show your home to someone who cannot even buy, right? So you have to keep that in mind. When buyers show the interest, you have to make sure you qualify them right there, that if they are qualified or if they are buying a cash property, cash, you know, with cash, or if they're gonna get a loan, if the loan is approved, right? Who is their bank or who is their lender? Get the letter from them. So whenever possible, don't be, another thing, be home during a showing, okay? Because this is impossible or impractical if you're selling your home yourself, correct? But if you have a agent, just leave because they can show the house. Just, letting you know with the experience, because sometimes lurking sellers, they make the buyer nervous, because buyer may feel that they are intruding and then rushing through, right? They may be hesitate to talk about the house or changes they need to make, or changes to the home if they don't, seller is right there, right? So feel comfortable closing inspections the house in the presence of the homeowner, because it's easier for buyer to visualize the home being their own when they have a chance to critique and discuss the home among themselves. So you must be home. If you must be home, try to stay out of the way. Answer questions only if they ask you. Unless there's a real reason for it, don't ask your agent to be, present for all showings either, right? So, because those buyers, they want privacy, right? When they are discussing about the house, correct? And they don't feel that comfortable when seller is, lingering around their head. So if you decide to wait, you are joining the, like, thousands of other homeowners who have also decided to wait. When few decided it's a time to take the plunge, you are already too late. If you need to want to sell now, then sell now. Okay? Because there's no such thing a better timing. So another option, or I suggestion I would say, because the seller, they get bite early on, and is suddenly they are filled with confidence that the house will easily sell. They inspire, even start creating a bidding war, right? Because for them, the first offer, it doesn't seem great, right? Because those sellers, they just think that, oh, okay, there's a better offer somewhere else, or some better offer will come, right? So just think of it, if the offer is looks good, it is a good offer. Don't start the bidding war for no reason. Okay. So another thing is, don't get too also emotionally attached about, to the house, right? Because buyers will start second guessing if they can, if a casual statement about the house really being too small for a growing family, or a schools, um, you know around the area. So also understand the closing cost, guys, because many sellers only consider the money that they are selling their home for, right? They don't appropriately calculate all the cost associated with the sale, right? Because there's a real estate commission if you are selling with the agency to sell, right? You have to pay on both sides. Your real estate agency and buyer real estate agency, their agent. Advertising cost, signs, other fees if you plan to sell by owner yourself, attorneys, closing agent, other professional fees, right? Tax for the sale, any annual expensive like um, such as like property taxes or homeowner association fee, correct? Utilities, any other fee sometimes paid by the seller, appraisal, inspections, buyer closing cost. All those are closing costs will go in the sale. And also another point I have to make, guys, you have to keep that in mind, earnest money deposit, which is called EMD, that is given by the buyer. It's usually stay with the title company or your uh, attorney. Do not believe that earnest money given at the time of, when buyer, and that is usually given when buyer write an offer on the property. They send a earnest money deposit, so they are interested in your house, correct? And so you cannot show it to anybody else, and now they put the house in the contract with you. Okay. And that earnest money is given at the time of an offer accepted, you know, until the deal has closed or been recorded. It will stay with the title company or with the attorney. Because there are too many, you know, I heard stories that seller, they just spent the deposit money prior to closing. So when the transactions did not go through for a reason, such as, financing contingency or failure of inspections or repairs issues, or buyer had to fight or sue for the refund. Okay. So that's why, when the put that in the title in the escrow, when property will be recorded, it's safe there with the title company or with your, attorney. And make sure, guys, that your contract, it dictates what happens to the fund if the transaction doesn't close. Okay. Because many seller, also another point is, utilities. Many sellers, they overlook notifying utilities that they are moving or applying for utility service at their new home. Call the utilities and your insurance company as soon as the contract is signed. Find out how many days lead time that they need to switch or cancel, from your name, and then get back with them when you have a firm closing date. Okay. And keep calm throughout the selling process, especially during and after house inspection. Be practical and presume that issues will arise. It's not uncommon to have to pay for some repairs. Don't let the buyer request to complete a minor repair to kill the deal. Okay. On the other hand, don't commit your fixing anything in advance unless you are sure that you can manage it emotionally, financially, correct? And determine the kind of repair you can practically take care of and commit to that decision. Because some repairs, they can become unmanageable and could cost you a lot of money, guys. Okay. And learn from, you know, my videos that I've been trying to bring it to you guys. And I've been covering so many different topics that you can learn everything about real estate just watching these videos, my listening to these videos. So avoid selling your house for less than it's worth and leaving money on the table. It's helpful to find out, what other people have done wrong, right? Because there are examples of costly mistakes, including mistakes made by the banks also, guys. Because it demonstrates how pricing your home right the first time is the crucial in a changing market. Because if you underprice it, you will lose the money, correct? So number one rule is reason people lose money on their home sale, as in not getting all the money they could, and they are underpricing it. They think their home is worth X amount of dollars without even researching or finding how the market is doing. They put their house on the market, sell it for less than what is worth, and never realize their mistake. That is what is so crucial, that you have a real understanding of a value of your home in today's market in your area. Okay. Because let me give you guys an example. Okay. Like for example, if seller who sold their home for about 300,000, okay, and they sold it why? For why? 80,000 only. They lived about 30 miles away and didn't even realize that development potential of that property, right? They also, even though they hire some agent, but not all agents are familiarized fully, and they don't understand also the potential and the development potential of that property or properties around the area. So that you have to keep in mind, you know, like zoning, okay? Discover what is the, zoning and what is the high density, if there's a condo buildings, right? And if you as a seller don't know about the zoning, nor did the county is planning to build, new road uh, boarding around their property, you can see where rest of the money went. You can lose a potential amount of money when the zoning start happening, or um, builders start developing around your area and you sold it for so cheap. Another point I would say I want to make it is the bank error. Okay. Banks know, guys, okay, they know that if buyer make an unsolicited offer, most of the time the offer is below fair market value, and Banks also lose the money in that. Yeah. Suppose if two different people are interested in buying a piece of property and it's in excellent location and unique among the properties available in the area, and both buyers are anxious to make an offer before someone else can offer more, right? And either one of them would have been willing to pay the fair market value for 100,000 for the property, right? Because suppose money is no problem for both buyer and they have ability to pay in cash. But unfortunately, the bank refuses to take any offer on the property. They would not budge until it was listed in the open market, right? And they put the property lower on the market, lower than what buyers are willing to pay for. So sometimes these banks also make a huge mistake dealing with the properties. If it's a foreclosure property and they are planning to sell it with their agent. Okay. So bank also, they refuse to work sometime with the buyer. You know, they waited listing to appear. When it didn't show up in the search, both buyers, unfortunately, both buyers who were willing to make a big offer, they moved on. Meanwhile, the property sat on the market unnoticed because the sometimes agent error, the bank's agent error, right? And that's it. Property went into foreclosure. So you have to do, guys, your diligent research and check it. You can go to the nearby your county courthouse if you want to, research about the property, any research, because these banks, their agent or other agent who is not well qualified to sell the property, right? The property will go to the foreclosure. Okay, because of the bank, they are just want to wait and they go through their guidelines and it's just, the property suffer because errors in price and adjustments, they are costly. There are times when pricing adjustments may need to be considered, right? You have to make sure, do your diligent research, check your comparable homes around the area, check any expiry or new listing or reduce prices or reducing on what property and why it's doing that. Okay. because these are the errors that could be very costly. Or sometime, because as a seller too, if they hire any agent who don't know much, and they are not aware how, the housing market is doing right now, it could be also a costly mistake. Correct? So another point I want to make, guys, one more, it happened uh, in throughout my career also, that I saw that sometime someone, they accepted the offer, buyer's offer, and they were waiting for transaction to close, right? And this transaction hasn't even closed, and the buyer were moving in before even the date of closing. And when the seller called the agent, right, buyer's agent, and noted that, why buyer is already moving, transaction hasn't closed, they should not be given the keys to move in the house. Okay. So if you are, you have to be very careful and make sure that your agent is experienced agent and they know what they are doing. They are not giving out the key for the buyer to move in before even the property is closed. And buyer is already, property is not even closed, and transaction hasn't closed, and buyer is already transferring the utilities on their name, and before even closing they just moved in. So make sure buyer cannot move in till the escrow is closed. So sometime also it's those are like, sometime it's a fraudulent buyers also. Okay. So you have to be careful that, they are not just fraudulent buyer and just moved into the house. So you have to do your diligent research in everything on the transaction without the involvement of, your own research. Make sure the house, who lived in this house before, do all the research, you know if you're planning to buy that house also. and make sure that there's suppose, let me give you guys an example. I was just thinking about, I know that one of the transaction, I'm going to give you that example, that a couple, suppose if they're buying a seller's home, they deposited 8,000 in cash into the checking account 3 days earlier before the closing. Okay, because their father had given them the money to buy new furniture, new appliances for the house. And then when their mortgage company checked the balance the day before and is binged as it required a gift letter, the father had gone to like Michigan, they were like out of the town. That definitely delay the process because bank will lenders, they will check if the money went into the checking account, where that money came from, and they need that in writing. So these are the points, all that you have to consider and make sure all the dots are checked in. You have to, when you're finding a buyer, you have to understand the importance of the pricing. You can check that from the Zillow and the Zestimate. There's so much information nowadays. How you're gonna find those buyers. That's the most valuable tool for finding ready buyers. Are previously, it's a strategic pricing and aggressive, you know, marketing plan when you're ready to sell the house for sure, right? So people nowadays actually go on the internet or they go on the, they check the local um, newspaper, right? So your home has to be seen from anywhere. You shouldn't rely the exposure alone, right? You should talk to different people, the houses on the market, because the buyers look for the house in a place that fit their lifestyle, right? And that's the excellent way to find interested buyer. They have to decide, they are deciding where to live or they want your home including in that, research. Or if it's a neighborhood consisting of senior citizen or retired people, right, without any designated school bus stop, they would not suit a family with school age children, right? Even though the house might meet their other criteria, a bachelor person may not be interested in living near the children's school, even though your house has a two-story and the garage. They are looking for all that, right? So these are the things you have to consider. And check the market, check the Zillow estimate, all of that, social media, when you're ready to sell the house, and put it on news, wherever you think, and market it so you have a more exposure to sell your house, and it will help you finding the buyers. Let your friends, your family, everyone know that your house is on the market, right? So, okay. Hope all this helped you guys. We will continue about seller series when you planning to sell your house, and we'll talk soon. Thank you. I'll talk to you guys soon. Take care.